How's everybody doing? Welcome back. It's the Chucko Show. Of course, I'm Chucko. It's been a little bit, probably almost been about a month. And somebody asked me the other day, "Hey, you still doing your podcast?" And I said, "Yeah, I do it." But and I've said this before. I started where I was doing it pretty regularly, every couple of weeks, this and that. But then I've come to the point where it's just like I've been kind of like, unless there's something to talk about that I want to talk about, or some things to laugh at because I really need to do the laughing right now, like a lot of us do, then I don't do them. So I do them when I feel like doing them. So yeah, and once I put them up, everyone knows. So when there's a new one, you'll know there's a new one, and here's a new one. So welcome back. There's some stuff to talk about. I was kind of thinking about just the world. Everybody knows what's going on. We're all up to date on it. It's all convoluted and crazy, and everybody's lying, and it's all bullshit, and it's just like, wow. Still don't know where that's going. But here we are, coming to you from the North Carolina studios out here on what I call Oliver's Ranch. Not a ranch, we're in the woods, and summer has set in, so it's starting to get really, really warm. We got very fortunate this year. My in-laws decided to purchase an above ground pool, but Bruce didn't really want to have it over there because he's growing a garden. He's got a pond and all this other stuff on their property, not too far from us. So they put it over here, which is amazing. And it's up to like 90 degrees already here in North Carolina. So we were really using the pool a lot, and we're grateful to have it. And of course, the mom-in-law will come over and swim with us as well. But it's kind of great to have it, and it's adding to our summer. So it's going to be a lot more fun. And trust me, when it's that hot and the humidity is up, you really want to get in that pool. And who wouldn't? So we're grateful to have it. Beautiful scenery when we're sitting in it. I mean, it's just, it's pretty special. So we're very lucky in that way. But yeah, social media, it's like, I get up in the morning and I get up and I get a cup of coffee, and I usually sit in the recliner like an old man. And instead of reading the paper, I scroll through my social media. But social media now, as soon as I get on, it's like, okay, America, what are we lying about today? Because everything's a lie. And it's kind of disappointing because I follow a lot of it to stay connected to my friends. I like to see what they're doing. I like to show them what I'm doing. And there's a lot of folks I don't see all the time anymore, and even more so now that we've moved out here to the East Coast. But the thing is, it's just you can't trust anything on there anymore, and that's kind of a shame because I like to follow my bands, my actors, my movie stuff. I'm an entertainment buff, always have been. That's why I came from where I came from. How the podcast started and everything is from the bodyguard stuff in Hollywood and all that, and I always loved that stuff. Before I ever did that work, I was very into movies. I remember being a very small kid, and my mother would drive me down to the Plaza 1 and 2 theater in San Lorenzo, California, up in the East Bay, in the Bay Area. Every Saturday, I would go back to see Jaws again, even though I had seen it many, many, many times. And I did that because I was fascinated in how they made that film. So, of course, when I got older, I saw the documentary with Spielberg and Bruce the Shark and all that. And it was really, really fun to see that again because I went so many times to see that movie. I was fascinated with it. That and The Exorcist. And I was the only one my mom would let go see The Exorcist because she said my sisters would freak out and have nightmares and stuff like that. But in any case, that got me to thinking about when we were kids and stuff. And I was thinking about some of the old ways and old things. And it's like kids these days will never know like what a flash bulb is. Do you remember the Kodak Instamatic cameras? Some of them were thin like this, but then you had to have a flash bulb. So like at Christmas, people would buy like 12 of those fucking flash bulbs because you needed to take so many pictures. And so kids these days, they don't know what those things are, but you take it, clip it in the camera, and it would go, and it would flash. So you had light. Nothing even close to our iPhones and our fancy iPads and things we have today. So you had the flash bulbs. And then I always thought it was kind of funny because kids laugh when I tell them this, but when you used to get your film developed, you didn't get your picture right away like we can today, right? All the stuff we can do with technology. You had to go to a photo mat. Well, a photo mat, for those of you that are young and don't know, they sat in parking lots next to a Walgreens and maybe a Sambo's restaurant or something. And it was a little house, and you could drive up to either side, and there were little drive up windows. And you would drop your film off that you took in your little camera with your flash bulbs, and then come back in a week, and the pictures would be developed for you. So I always cracked up because those people that worked in those booths always looked at people's pictures. And I'm sure they saw some shit sometimes. They were like, whoa, right? I know there were a lot of incidents where when another family member went to the same photomat because they lived in the same town and turned in their film, and then the mother got the daughters and the daughter got the mothers, and that wasn't good sometimes. Right? You can imagine. So it was interesting because that's how you got your film. You had to go get them developed. And there were different, you could have floss or not floss, but you could have like glossy and all these different things on your pictures and whatnot. And of course, even further back, the good old Polaroids, right, that you would take and then peel them apart, and you'd have to wave it. My dog's running around in here again with her nails on the floor, so that's what you hear. It's not a rat. Anyhow, I just thought that's funny because the kids these days have no idea about that kind of stuff. And then, of course, black light posters, because in my era, that was the coolest thing. Me and my friends all had black light posters in our bedrooms with black lights, and some of those posters were super cool, right? They'd have like felt on them. You could feel them, and they were kind of fuzzy. It was like fuzzy felt, and they were awesome. They were super awesome. So those were really big, and the big thing about it for me was Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee had a lot of those, and I would collect the Bruce Lee posters because all the kids in my era loved Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was a badass. And there was a place I remember in my hometown that I grew up in called Rose Arts. Rose Arts was like an old Victorian home on the boulevard in Castro Valley, California, where I grew up. And it was an old home, and you'd walk up the steps to this old Victorian home, and it was a shop inside, and they had black light posters. There'd be incense burning. If there had been legal pot at the time, it would have been a pot shop for sure, but it had like lava lamps, just all that kind of cool shit in the 70s that everybody was into and stuff. And I just will never forget that. It blows my mind that I remember the name of it, Rose Arts. And I'm sure if I asked my sisters and some of my friends I grew up in that town with, they'd remember that. But that's just kind of the old stuff, that I remember. And it's like the world was a lot cooler then, definitely, than it is now. So those memories, when they come back to me, I always embrace them because I'm like, that was cool. That was like something we're never going to get again. I want to talk about, have you ever been in your house and there's a foul smell coming from somewhere, but you can't find it? We were talking about this the other night. So these folks were telling me that it took them forever to find out where the smell was coming from in their house. And I had a story that related to that because we lived in a beautiful, authentic log cabin. And it was our second home in Three Rivers, California, when we moved there. It was beautiful, and it was up on Mineral King Drive. Beautiful cabin up there in the hill. And we loved that place. Super high-end kitchen with the soft closed doors and the marble countertops. It was just a cool place. We rented it. But when we moved in there, I want to say a couple months after we moved in there, we were experiencing the same thing, a foul smell, right? And automatically you think garbage, or did my dog do something, that kind of thing. But we went through the same thing, and so did these folks. They were just saying they were walking through the house trying to find out where that horrible, nasty smell was coming from. And I'm sure other people have had this experience before. But ours, it took us weeks, you guys. I would walk to the kitchen and I could smell it, and I would tell Dalton, where is that coming from? And then I'd walk between the dining room and the kitchen, and when I got to the little corner where the counter ended and the logs met the counter, I smelled it even more heavily. And we looked in the cabinets, we looked everywhere. Long story short, it was a dead rat underneath the house in the crawl space. because they had a shop down there and there was a lot of room under there. But it had died under there and it was right below the kitchen there. And finally, I think we realized we need to go look under the house, and we did, and that's what we found, and we realized that's what it was. So I'm sure that's probably what happened to some of the other folks too, but that whole foul smell thing, you know when you smell it, right? And if it's varmint, you'll be like, I know what that is. That's a dead something and something. So, yeah, we were talking about that, and I said everybody's had that happen to them, and it's gross because you got to clean it out, and then it takes a while for that smell to go away, right? So one of the things I was talking about when we were kids is me and my best friend Rico Lazarecci. He lived right across the street. We played Batman and Robin together, had bikes, rode all over the place. But we were fearless. And as kids, you typically are fearless, and especially the kids from our era, fearless. We were not afraid to go in places where most people might not go, right? So I was thinking about this story because in the neighborhood we grew up in, where me and Rico played, they had these sewers under the street, right? You could go under the street into those sewers, but you had to go up to the Chabot Swim Club. It was a swim club, and it was like a block away and up that street and then into the parking lot. And what you would do is we'd take our bikes, and there was a little slit in the fence that had been broken out. And so as kids used to crawl through there, leave our bikes there. And as soon as you crawled through there, there was a round hole into the sewer on the other side of that fence. And then you could climb down the ladder and go into the sewer system. Well, we did this shit all the time, right? It was like an adventure. We wanted to go explore. And I think about these movies like It, right? And I'm like, now, I would never go in that sewer and walk in that thing because I would automatically think of that clown. You know what I'm saying? But there was no clown. There was no clown in our sewer. But it's still not something I would do today. But when you are a teenager, preteen, you are fearless to things like this. So we would go down and we would walk in there. And what you could do is you could follow the tubes under our street and look up, and you could see the grates where it was Keith Avenue, where my house was and Rico's was. And then you could see Huber Drive's grate. So we knew where we were underneath the streets in those tubes and stuff. And we used to explore them all the time and stuff. But just talking about kids being fearless, we would just do anything like that. And we didn't even care. It's like, I remember we used to take our bikes and tell my mom we're going to go bike riding. We would go way the hell out. My mother had no idea how far away from home we rode those bikes. There was a dirt lot down on a corner, way down, like almost to the boulevard, which was a good long ways from where we lived. And we would take our bikes because it was like a dirt bike track thing, and we could play over there all day and stuff. But mom had no idea. And in those days, people had no idea where their kids were. Trust me. Drying out weed in the oven. I remember my stepfather bought this hydroponic unit, and he grew some weed in it for my sister, my older sister. And we would steal it, me and my friends, then try and dry it out in the oven, which is the worst thing you could do. It just ruins it completely. But I'm just telling you, this is the 70s, man. This is like old school stuff. And it's just the kind of stuff we did as kids, and it's crazy, 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 crazy. I'm reminded of a G.I. Joe story. We were talking about that sewer, right? So I had a G.I. Joe. G.I. Joes were the bomb. Every little boy wanted a G.I. Joe. I had a big Jim, too. He was a different guy, and he had a little thing on his muscle, and you could, like, put the band around his muscle and then make his arm go up, and it would go pop. And, he was a badass. But anyway, I had a G.I. Joe. And he had this little boat, and it was raining one day, so we lived on a hill. So I went outside our driveway, and I went up the hill a little bit, and I put G.I. Joe in his boat, and I put him in the gutter and let him cruise down our street, not remembering, because I'm a stupid kid, that grate down into the sewer was right near our driveway. And when his boat and G.I. Joe got there, G.I. Joe fell into the grate and went down into the sewer. I had to save G.I. Joe. Okay? I'm serious. Now listen, I was traumatized. He was my favorite toy. I'm like, I need to get that GI Joe, but I knew how to get it because, as I told you, me and Rico used to go down there all the time. So I rode my bike up to the swim club in the rain. I climbed in between that little slat in the fence. I climbed down the ladder into that scary sewer, and I found my GI Joe, and I got him back. So I just think that's hilarious because when I think about myself now, and if somebody said, hey, we're going to go in this dark tunnel, it goes for about a mile, you won't be able to see, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't do that. But as a kid, I did do that. And I'm still amazed that I even did it, or that Rico even did it to begin with. Other crazy things I did as a kid, preteens, my best friend, one of my best friends, Brian Blunt, his mother owned a mortuary in downtown Oakland off of 98th Avenue. And if you know Oakland and you know 98th Avenue, Oaktown, pretty scary area, especially at night. But Brian tells me and my best friend Marty that he's going to be having to spend the night at the mortuary and keep an eye on it for his mother for some reason. So me and Marty decided to get stoned and go down to 98th Avenue and spend the night with Brian in his family's mortuary. Well, we did that. It had a living quarters upstairs, and then downstairs were the caskets where people were on display who had passed and things like that. I won't get into too much detail about what stupid shit we did, but we did stupid shit. We probably did sacrilegious shit that we shouldn't have done. I know Marty slapped one of the dead people in there on the face just to be funny, and we were like, oh, you can't do that. No, you don't want to be messing around in a mortuary. I'm serious. That's bad juju, right? But we did that shit. We spent the night there. We made popcorn upstairs, ran around the funeral home at night. Yeah. And again, would I do that today? No, absolutely not. So, yeah, things like that. When you're young, you have no fear. You will do some crazy stuff. And later when you grow up, you'll be like me and you'll think about it and go, damn, what were we thinking, right? So years ago, I told y'all, most of you know that I worked in the industry as a bodyguard for about 10 years down in Hollywood, right? But at that time that I was down there, I worked at Jimmy Kimmel Live, CSI Miami. I did all kinds of other things in between the bodyguard stuff. And anyway, I had a couple roommates in Sherman Oaks, California. We all rented a house together. The two guys, one of them I worked with, one of my best friends ever in the world, Max Goldman, I worked with at Jimmy Kimmel. And then Travis, his friend, ended up moving in with us. He was our third roommate. And so we all shared this home in Sherman Oaks. And it was one of the most funnest, craziest times in my life living with those guys. And we had so much fun there. But one of the things I want to tell you is a lot of people probably don't know this. I've told some people, but I was wanting to act when I got to LA like everybody else. I had been doing acting class with a character actor named Steve Easton, who was in quite a few films. And I trained under him for a little bit and paid for that for a while. And I did a couple little things. When I was working at Warner Brothers Studios, my friend Gene Kelly was making a film called The Hitman Chronicles. He got me on for that film, and we shot a bunch of stuff on Sunset Boulevard, a bunch of different stuff. And then I did a student film for a buddy of mine, Paul Hextall, with Cat Eye Productions, and that was called The Final Stretch. And so I have my little IMDb on there, and it's kind of funny. It's my little bit of claim to fame. But my story is, my biggest claim to fame is a Ted Bundy movie called Bundy, A Legacy of Evil. So I ironically play a correctional officer in this movie, and I am literally in it in the last 5 minutes of the film when we're going to take, what's his name? Bundy. I was going to say Dahmer. When we're going to take Bundy to the electric chair. But they used slow-mo when they were doing the scene. So I'm on screen for quite a bit there toward the end. You can definitely tell it's me. And it was just an interesting story because we spent a Saturday and a Sunday shooting this, and we shot it, you guys, at this old abandoned jail in Los Angeles in Lincoln Heights, in the Lincoln Heights neighborhood. There's a shot of it there. There's the Lincoln Heights jail abandoned. I will tell you, it was a very creepy place. Look at this place. So it was really old and dilapidated. And we hung out there and shot for 2 days. And it was a lot of fun. I had a really great time doing it. And of course, you get to be in a movie, you know, that's kind of fun too. But just a couple still shots. Here I am. The main actor there playing Ted Bundy is Corin Nemec. Some of you may remember him from an old show called Parker Lewis Can't Lose. That's him there in the middle. I don't remember the other gentleman's name playing the other correctional officer. But that's the three of us there walking him to death row. God, I look young and thin. I want that waist back. There I am again, and the three of us. Of course, this is slow motion. Again, it's the execution scene. So as we're going, this is what we're seeing in slow motion. You can see us coming around the corner here into the room where the electric chair is, and he's fighting a little bit. And there I am, kind of hanging on to him. And then there we are, strapping him in. And it's kind of cool. I mean, you can't miss me with that big bald head right there, or even that, the nose, right? You're not going to miss that nose. It's my nose. I'm not even in the scene. It's just my nose. So check it out. Guy behind us there with the goatee. Take a real good look at him. So he played the warden in this film that we shot. And his name is Kane Hodder. And most of you who are horror fans should know that Kane Hodder is Jason in all of the Friday the 13th movies. Here's a shot of him and Corin Nemec here from the Bundy movie. It was 2009 when we did this. And of course, we fry him in the chair and he's screaming and all this stuff. And there we are fighting him to get him in. But here's a shot of Kane, half Jason, half Kane. Really trippy guy. I just thought, oh my God, I'm in a movie with Jason from Friday the 13th. He did all the Jason films. Of course, once we fried this guy, here's what Corin looked like at the end. Pretty cool. Lots of fun. Here's what I want to tell you. Little fun fact about Kane Hodder. The first day I met him on the set, he's sitting in the director chair and they were doing something with him. And I was talking about, hey, nice to meet you. You know, I can't believe, you know, you were Jason in all the Friday the 13th movies, you know. And he says, do you want to see something? And he goes like this. And he turns his lip like that. And right here, tattooed on his lip, it says, kill 'em all. And he had that tattooed on because playing Jason in all the movies. But when he showed me that and looking at him, I'm like, kind of freaky. I mean, it says kill 'em all, and he's got it tattooed here. It's just, he's a trip. He is a trip. He's done a couple films over the years and stuff like that. I don't know if he came back for any of the new Jason ones, but so that was my little claim to fame. Bundy, A Legacy of Evil. It used to be in Blockbuster. It's still out there floating around. I have people call me once in a while and go, dude, I saw you in a movie. And I go, is it, what's his name? I keep wanting to say Dahmer. Bundy. Was it Bundy? Yeah, it was a Bundy. Yeah. So anyway, that was it. Shot in Lincoln Heights. Pretty fun day. Couple of days for me. And that was my little claim to film in Hollywood. And then my friend Paul Hextall got a hold of me on the set of CSI Miami, and he wanted to do this film called The Final Stretch. It was a student film, and it went to a couple film festivals and stuff. And this, I think I pulled off of IMDb. This is just a shot of the title of the film. Here's a shot of me in the film. I played this guy, Rocky, who's investigating some sketchy shit that went down during a marathon where somebody won and it was set up and this kind of stuff. I can't remember all the details now, but here they are setting up to run here. But you can find this on IMDb, and there's actually a trailer on there as well with some of the scenes with me. Here I am with Lizzie Overton. She played this girl that was part of the high school track meet thing there, and this is a pretty heated conversation we're having in the film and stuff. But that was fun too. So I had the Hitman Chronicles, and I had the Bundy film, and then I had the final stretch. So I got to do a little bit of behind the camera or in front of the camera stuff. And it was fun. And, you're in Hollywood, so why not? You want to be doing something like that. So I just thought I'd share those with you. You can't see the trailer for both of those. The Bundy trailer, actually, if you go to YouTube and you look up Bundy, A Legacy of Evil execution scene, that whole scene is just me walking him like I just showed you in the stills. So it's kind of worth checking out if you are a personal friend with me. I think it's kind of fun to see. Every once in a while I look at it and go, oh, I wish I had about 500 more. And then I'd have money. Yes. That's what I say anyway. So let's talk about the meantime. Because in the meantime, I kind of found a couple funny memes over the last couple months I thought were pretty funny. So let's laugh. Okay, check it out. I want you to see this. So I cracked up when I saw this because there's so many people that are Starbucks freaks, and they got to have the caramel macchiato and whatever they got to have and stuff. So this one's kind of funny. And this was actually, I think, a reel on maybe on TikTok, but I had to screenshot some of them because it was just so freaking funny. So check it out. Look. So point of view, you use the bathroom after a barista. And he's got his little Starbucks thing on there, right? Look at the guy's face. He's looking down, and you're like, why has he got that face? Look at this. Can you imagine? The guy from Starbucks comes out of the stall. He's got the little apron on, and then you walk in and see that. That's some creative poop. I think Cousin Matt would have came up with that one, or at least a good little slang thing for it. But that's a good one, right? A little barista. Yeah, that one killed me. And then I was thinking about Trump and all this stuff going back and forth with that stupid straight and the oil, and then we've got, that fan thing coming up where people are dropping there or not playing there. Well, they had all these people lined up for that. But the hummus thing, this one's really funny. This one cracks me up. Look at this. Trump fumes at Japanese refusal to send Godzilla to the Strait of Hormuz. But hey, the thing is, this is the kind of stupid shit that's on social media, and this is what's coming out of the White House too, is stupid stuff like that. Well, they won't even send Godzilla, and I mean, he's saying some crazy shit. So I don't know. You figure it out on your own. But talking about that concert thing he wants to have, and people start dropping like flies. They had Martina McBride. Who was it? The guy from Poison. A bunch of people lined up to do it. And then even Milli Vanilli, the guy that's left, the Millie or the Vanilli, I don't know which one he is, but the Vanilli or the Millie decided they didn't want to do it either, right? And then even worse, I couldn't believe it when I found this out, but even the Brady Bunch had backed out of the Freedom Fest 250. They don't even want to be there. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of people, and what a great act. But then I started looking at the next group that said, hey, we're not going to fly with that. And I realized, look at this. Marty and Bobby Culp have officially dropped out of Freedom 250 as well. Oh, my God. There's going to be no talent. I'm dying over here. Hey, there's about 1 million of those, and they're all funny in my opinion. This is not a fake thing or a made up thing. This is a true story, and I just thought it was funny, so I'm gonna go ahead and share it with you because I needed to laugh when I saw it. Brian Tucker was arrested. He's a Florida man, 45 years old, arrested after building a full tiki bar in the middle of a Walmart parking lot and serving drinks to shoppers for 3 hours before the police arrived. Yes, Brian, way to go. Look at Brian. Brian looks like a lot of Brians I know. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Can you imagine? You're walking into the old Walmart and you're like, is that a tiki bar? Well, fuck yeah, let's go. Who's not going to do that, right? I'm sure some of you know who, because Stranger Things was huge, such a huge show, that the girl on there, Maya Hawke. Maya Hawke is the daughter of Ethan Hawke, the actor, and his wife, actress Uma Thurman. So I did not know, and I'm going to share it with you now, that Uma actually had a brother, and he's never been in the public eye before, but they finally released a picture of him, and here he is here, Uma Herman. He looks kind of like her, right? With the cigarette and the hair. Shut up, you love it. But Maya Hawke is their daughter. I think Matty Matt sent me this. Cousin Matto, who's all tied up on a little camping trip this week, tried to get him back on the podcast. He'll make it on. He sent me this. It says, just to let you all know, I'm at the hospital, but I'm okay. That's hilarious. I want to send that to some people. And I think he also might have forwarded this one to me too, because it's very Matto. But I guess he was out shopping and saw this. Ass fudge for $4.99. A little bit of ass fudge. Why would they do that? I'm looking at that going, what is it supposed to say? And how did it come out ass? I don't know. That's freaking hilarious, though. So, lately with the way the world is and everything and all the stress of social media and Donald Trump and everybody, people, people are always coming up to you at work, and they're going like, hey, how you doing? And I always tell them this. I always say, you know what? I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'm literally hanging on like the ash on Shelley Duvall's cigarette in The Shining. If you know, you know. So in that movie, she's doing her scene and she's talking, and all you're looking at is that ash on her cigarette. And so when I saw that, I thought, that's me in life right now. I'm hanging on like the ash on Shelley Duvall's cigarette in The Shining. Here's Chaco. That's a good one. My mother-in-law sent me this one. I thought it was kind of cute. It says, viral camera that attract thieves to look at them directly for a long, long time. Thanks, Gloria Wagner from White Oak, North Carolina. That's just good stuff. I actually like that one. And I guarantee you somebody's got that put up somewhere. Before we go tonight, one last thing I wanted to share with you, because I never knew this. I knew a lot of shit. I knew that Ashton Kutcher was wrapped up in a lot of shit with P. Diddy and all this kind of stuff. I know a lot of stuff about Kutcher. But I did not know this. Check this out, you guys. You see this? In 2001, Ashton Kutcher arrived at the home of his date, 22-year-old Ashley Erlin, but she didn't answer the door. Unbeknownst to him, she had been stabbed 47 times just hours earlier by her neighbor, a serial killer, Michael Gargiulo. Dude, why have I never heard of this? Have you heard that? And that's not bullshit. That really happened. But it made me think, Jesus, Ashton, how much crap are you wrapped up in? I mean, this is the guy that everybody loved from the 70s show that was going to Congress and stuff, speaking against human trafficking and shit. And then he hooked up with Diddy, and then he got tied into a little bit of the Epstein stuff. And there's been a lot of shady shit. His marriage to, no, I don't think they were married. Brittany Murphy. They weren't married, but there's things where they're saying he's tied to maybe her death and stuff like that for reasons that she had secrets on him and stuff like that. I did read articles way back when he was really just popping and everywhere. And they were talking about how he would take girls to the hotel rooms and stuff. And they would take pictures and stuff of him and her together or whatever. When that girl went to sleep, the bodyguards would delete all those things from her phone. And there was a couple articles about how he operated that way and stuff. So I don't know, the whole Danny Masterson thing in jail for his thing. It's just weird. I'm just like, Ashton Kutcher, again, 2001. This is way back, guys. What, 2026? And he knocks on the door, and there's a girl dead in there that he was dating. I don't know. I think it's totally trippy and totally weird. Hey, I hope your world isn't too bad. I hope you're able to laugh. I'm trying, and we're going to keep trying on the podcast. I'm still looking for funnier shit to do and think about. I got a couple friends that want to do some stuff, but everyone says that, and then they get scared, and I don't like the way I look on the screen. I don't want to hear my voice. I don't either, but I got nothing else to do, so why not? Seriously, I'm retired over here. And somebody, for Christ's sakes, come and see us. We got a pool. Bring what you want to drink. Hey, I'm Chucko. I missed you guys. We'll be back when I feel like it. That's all I can say. I love you guys.